Yo, it's Blank. Today I'm just gonna do a really quick video showing you how I make dubstep basses in Serum. So you're gonna want an init preset. Turn both oscillators on, but turn the levels on both oscillators down. Assign LFO1 to both oscillators. Then you're going to want to turn the octave down to -1 in both oscillators. Then what you're going to want to do is oscillator A, you're going to want Evil Longreese. Then you're going to want to drag the unison up to 16 and the detune to 0.10. You can turn oscillator B off so that you can just work on oscillator A. I quite like to do that. And then you can scroll through different wavetable positions to find one that you like. I quite like that one. So now we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to work on oscillator B instead of oscillator A. I quite like using Squelchy 1 or Reese Mess 1 for kind of that metallic, like, overtone kind of thing. Again, unison 16, detune 0.10. And scroll through the wavetables again to find one that you like. I quite like that, but I'm going to normalize each gained separately, so it's a little bit louder. And then turn both oscillators on so that you can hear what they both sound like. Now, what I quite like to do is add just a little bit of sub with a -1 octave as well, and I quite like to choose the triangle. But obviously we're going to turn that down and assign LFO1 to that too. Because with the two oscillators that we've got the high end that we need, but now we need to compensate for the low end, and that's why I quite like using a triangle wave sub. Also, one thing to remember is you're going to want to set the LFO mode to re-trigger. This note is F sharp, by the way, for anyone wondering. So moving on to the filter, I quite like using a high pass 12, HP12, in the multi section. Assign the filter to both oscillator A and B. And you're going to want to key track the filter so that everything is in key. Now you're going to want to create movement within your patch. To do this, you can assign LFO1 to the cutoff of your filter. Now, I'm going to turn that sub down just a little bit because I think it's a little bit much. Or you can turn the sub all the way up and have the sub running through the filter as well. And then you get more of like a metallic yoink growl bass. I quite like automating the resonance as well, but not so much. I quite like doing sort of 35, 34, something like that. And it's kind of got like the whop sound, like the vocal whop sound. But if you want to, you can turn the resonance up to 20% and then modulate the resonance using the LFO like so. And then what I quite like to do is I quite like to turn the frequency all the way up, but modulate it backwards so it meets the resonance. And it will create quite a nice sound, as you can hear. It's kind of got like that talking, like the vowel kind of sound. Okay, moving on to finishing up, go into the effects tab, and what I quite like to do is your standard multiband compression. Turn the gain up just a little bit because it will be too quiet otherwise. I usually go between 5 and 8. And then what I quite like to do is apply, always make sure your compressor is right down the bottom of your effects chain so that all of your effects are going into the compressor. But yes, as I was saying, what I quite like to do is comb filters. Now comb filters are really good for getting that metallic sound, like Eliminate, Virtual Riot, like all of that kind of thing. Just mess about with the cutoff, find your sweet spot, and it's the same with the resonance. Now I quite like that, but one thing that I always do is I always put some fast tonal slapback delay on my patches using the effects as well. So click the link button on the delay link and then drag this up to about 16ths or 32. And it just adds a little bit to it. And then you can make it quicker as well. But I'm going to turn the feedback down because that's a little bit too much. And another thing that I quite like to do is a really, really small amount of reverb. And I usually turn the wet mix down to about 17%. So it's kind of squelchy, it's kind of like really wet, but it's also got the dryness as well. Now, I do think that is a little bit quiet, so I'm just going to turn up the gain just a small amount. And there we go. We have our serum patch.